Hello everyone, welcome. Today we are traveling to the dry state of Arizona. Is there anything to do there? Yes, absolutely. And there is plenty to explore. Here we'll cover 32 unmissable stops. Hello Duck Adventures, welcome to EveTripsBBB, where we explore the world together with our beloved pato, the Adventure Duck. Find the full itinerary for free on Google Maps in the description. Subscribe and join us on this exciting duck adventure. We'll start with the city of Phoenix. One thing that surprised me, there was this sign. It says, it's okay not to give money to homeless. Instead, give it to a foundation that will help them. I have been told this initiative has truly helped them reduce homelessness in the city. What do you think about this? Let me know in the comments. Our first stop will be at Holy Spirit Catholic Church. Seriously, Eve, our very first stop is at a church. Yes, that's right. What caught my attention were its gardens, which have a bit of an Arizona style and are very different from what I'm used to seeing. Another place you can stop to eat is Indian Flame. I found the food very tasty and the service excellent. This video is not sponsored by them, it's simply a personal preference. From November to January, there's the World of Illumination, considered the best drive-through Christmas lights display. Honestly, I didn't find it that impressive and it was shorter than I expected. You drive in, but people don't really stop to enjoy the lights. They just keep driving and driving, which makes the experience feel very brief. It's nice, yes, but not as long as I imagined. Now we'll head to the Desert Botanical Garden. Honestly, it was one of my favorite places in the Phoenix area. It has gigantic cactus, many plants, and it's a garden completely different from what you usually see in other states. There are unique flowers and it's quite large. You could easily spend an entire day there without hesitation. They also host art exhibitions, and luckily, when I visited, the Botero exhibit was on display. Now we'll visit Old Town Scottsdale. It's a town with the charm of an old village full of shops and art. You can really step inside the stores to admire the crafts, the artwork, and all the different things this place has to offer. Honestly, it's a cool and beautiful walk. You can also stop by the Scottsdale Civic Center. It's a very nice park, small but definitely pleasant, where you can spend a good time relaxing. There's also the Arizona Canal South Bridge, which has a small stream and is part of a charming little town with beautiful shops. They decorate it very nicely in December. It's also a pleasant place to spend some time strolling around the area with a delicious ice cream. Do you enjoy ice cream as much as I do? Let me know in the comments. Our next stop will be Medieval Times Dinner and Tournament. This place is super fun. At least I thought it was really cool to take a trip back in time where they serve food in the style of that era, complete with the traditional turkey leg. At the tournament, there's also a king and queen, and the arena is divided into sections where you can cheer for your knight. Taliesin West. Although I don't know much about architecture, this is a must-see in Phoenix. The design is very interesting. It was created to keep the space from getting too hot, so it stays pleasant and cool. There's a lot of science behind this architecture that you might overlook if you don't take the tour. I truly recommend visiting. It's a very cool place. Be sure to make reservations in advance because it gets quite busy. This place is called Constantine Originals. I actually found it on Google Maps. and we were surprised by how beautiful and welcoming it is. There are many clay crafts and different art structures, and it feels like such a cozy, charming spot. I was amazed that it goes so unnoticed. So here I'm sharing this place with you, a hidden gem in the city of Phoenix. Did you know that sandstorms in Arizona, known as haboobs, are impressive and dangerous phenomena that occur mainly during the summer season from June to September? The dust is so dense that you lose visibility while driving. I had no idea these storms were that intense. Did you? And our next adventure takes us to central Arizona, where we'll stop in Sedona. In Sedona, we visited the Chapel of the Holy Cross, a modern chapel from the 1950s with an incredible location where you can admire the red rocks and Arizona's arid landscape. The traffic there is a bit heavy, so it's more of a short visit, but it's definitely worth going. Now we're heading to Tlaquepaque Arts and Shopping Village. It's an outdoor market where you'll find art galleries, shops, and a beautifully decorated space. Honestly, you should visit this place. It has such a great vibe. Step into the stores, admire the art and the crafts that this spot has to offer too. Now we're heading to Prescott. It's a charming cowboy town where you can stroll around and enjoy its historic downtown. Don't be shy about stepping into the shops. They have a lot to offer. One of the places we visited was the Ian Russell Gallery of Fine Art. This gallery features contemporary art, photography, and sculptures. It's a very pleasant spot where you'll discover unique and surprising works. I truly recommend going in and enjoying this beauty. It was getting close to lunchtime, so we decided to stop at the Palace Restaurant and Saloon. Honestly, it's super cool to go there because it feels just like stepping into an old Western movie. You walk through those classic swinging doors and everything inside is styled from that cowboy era. Even the staff dress in clothing from that time. The food itself is completely normal, but the whole atmosphere makes it a really enjoyable experience when you step into this restaurant. Let's get to know a bit of history at the Prescott Western Heritage Center, where they show you pieces of Prescott's past. They have some old artifacts, but what stood out most to me was the staff. They're very friendly and always willing to answer your questions and share stories. And of course, like any respectable town, Prescott has its courthouse plaza. As you stroll through the downtown area, you can visit the courthouse and take the traditional photo in front of this landmark. Well, as you know, I love outdoor activities. So of course we had to go to Watson Lake Park, a place where you can hike, walk among those pinkish rock formations, and enjoy a spectacular view of the lake. It's truly an unmissable stop. And Eve, was there any Choco adventure? Of course. A trip without a Choco adventure isn't really a trip. So our car broke down right in the middle of the highway. We stayed sitting in the car, and my friend kept telling me that Phoenix was a very dangerous city. He repeated it many times, even though I didn't feel it was that way. While we were waiting inside the car, someone approached. I turned to look, and the man had a gun tucked into his pants. My nerves shot up instantly. I didn't know whether to roll down the window or what to do. All I could remember were my friend's words, "Phoenix is very dangerous, Evelyn. Phoenix is very dangerous." Then my friend said, "Go ahead, roll down the window." So I did. And it turned out the man was actually very kind. He explained that it was dangerous for us to be sitting there on the highway and that he was going to help us with the tow. Just then, the tow truck arrived to pick us up. And what can we find in the eastern center of Arizona? Well, there are two impressive places. The first is Meteor Crater Natural Landmark. There isn't a lot to do there, but it's definitely an interesting stop where you can learn about the meteorite that impacted this area. It has a small museum and, of course, the classic gift shop. And one of my favorite places in this area was the Giant Logs. It's part of Arizona's Petrified Forest National Park, known for having some of the largest and most colorful petrified tree trunks, including one called Old Faithful, which measures nearly 10 feet long. Honestly, I never imagined I would see actual petrified wooden logs in my life. Now we're heading to one of Arizona's most iconic and touristy spots in the north, Horseshoe Bend. Honestly, I don't even know how to sell this place to you. It sells itself. It's simply breathtaking. We took a tour to get there, since private cars aren't allowed to reach the site on their own, so you need to reserve a spot with a tour operator. The view is stunning, but it does get crowded, so it's really about taking those must-have photos and then waiting for your ride back. And of course, we continue with the unmissable Grand Canyon, a gigantic place with breathtaking views. We visited the eastern area of the canyon, near the visitor center. We only stayed for one day, but you could spend as many days as you want here because it's truly vast. If you happen to be in Las Vegas and want to also explore part of the Grand Canyon along with some spots in Arizona, I've prepared an itinerary that highlights the key places to visit in that region. I hope it's very useful for you. It also includes recommendations for Las Vegas. You'll find all these itineraries linked in the description. Inside the Grand Canyon, you can also find the Grand Canyon Railway. And what can I say? I love trains. So whenever I see something related to them, I stop, admire, and take in the structures. I just had to share that with you. Around that area, you'll also find some hotels and small shops worth visiting, like the Hopi House. The Hopi House is a brick building with a quaint Hopi style. It's a little gift shop where you can buy souvenirs, crafts, and more. But what really stands out is the building itself, its charm and uniqueness. So if you're in the area, why not stop by and take that classic Instagram photo there? There's also the El Tova Hotel. If you want to take a break and sit for a while, you can step into the lobby and relax. Some people really enjoy this style of hotel. It's not exactly my favorite, but if you like that kind of decor, it's there for you to enjoy. We stayed at the Grand Hotel at the Grand Canyon. It has a somewhat rustic architecture, reminiscent of the Old West. It's located fairly close to the park and near a few restaurants. The area itself is quite desolate, so having these places nearby is definitely convenient. This was a place I had always wanted to visit, Antelope Canyon. There are two sections, the lower and the upper. I chose the lower because it's a bit more challenging than the upper, and walking through it feels like stepping right into the heart of this natural wonder. It is absolutely stunning. Just look at the photos of this place, right? They speak for themselves. Videos aren't allowed, and the guides are very attentive to make sure no one records. But you can take as many photos as you like, and the guides are experts at capturing them. They're always willing to help you get the perfect shot during the tour. This experience is truly priceless, and I recommend it 100%. If your physical condition isn't very strong, you should take precautions with the stairs. In that case, I really recommend visiting the Upper Antelope Canyon instead of the lower. Continuing on, we stopped at Antelope Point Marina. It's a nice little spot where you can see a small lake and some boats. Perfect for taking a break and relaxing for a while on your way back. Another interesting stop is the Carl Hayden Visitor Center, which adds more context and history to the area. When we went, it was closed, but you can still visit the Glen Canyon Dam on the Colorado River. It's a massive and fascinating structure, and it's definitely worth walking around the dam for a while. And of course, Eve, what else could I add? Naturally, the stop at Hoover Dam and the Visitor Center, where you can stand in Nevada and Arizona at the same time. You can take a short tour, and it's truly an architectural masterpiece that's worth seeing. With that, we wrap up our video for today. I hope you enjoyed it, and tell me, are you planning to go to Arizona soon? One thing I didn't like about Phoenix was the way people drive there. It's really strange. They accelerate a lot and then slam on the brakes right before hitting the car in front. It feels like I don't even know how to explain it properly, but they brake so close, and I kept thinking, why? Just keep a safe distance. But no, that's not how they do it there. At one point, the car in front of us, actually 2 cars ahead, couldn't brake in time. If he hadn't reacted, he would have crashed, so he swerved onto the shoulder. I turned to my friend and said, "Wow, look at what that guy just did." We were stuck in traffic, and my friend said, "No, on the contrary, that was actually good. It means he couldn't brake in time, so to avoid a crash, he swerved onto the shoulder. That way he prevented an accident." I was shocked because I thought, well, if he had just kept a safe distance, he wouldn't have needed to go onto the shoulder at all. Still, it was kind of admirable, like, wow, he avoided an accident by reacting quickly and pulling onto the shoulder. And finally, a special thank you to David. Friends, this itinerary was created by him. Thank you so much. I had an incredible time in Arizona. This duck adventure comes to an end. But don't worry, more incredible destinations await us soon. Remember, the itinerary is in the video description. Don't forget to subscribe, give us a like, and share so more duck adventures can enjoy these journeys. Until next time, bye!